How to build business credit quickly. In today's interview style episode, I am meeting with Joe, the CEO of National Business Capital, and we are having a very candid conversation on business credit. He is going to teach you how he has taught so many others to get business credit quickly, how to get business funding, and how to get all of the funds that you need for your business quickly and without a lot of hassle. Let's go.
Noel. Yeah, she can fix that. If you gotta get it done, no, you need to do it better. Well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
Hello, okay. I am so excited to be talking to you, Joe Camberado. Joe, my friend, we've been actually business partners without ever actually meeting each other. It's funny to get deposits from a company and then meet the person. So this is exciting. We are going to just jump right into it. People are so excited to talk about business credit. Like I said, it's changed my life, my business. It's a big mistake that I made not getting business credit earlier. So let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about business credit and how someone, a new company, gets business credit. Like, how do they get funded? How does their business get funded?
Awesome. Well, thank you, Noel. Thanks for having me on my show. And it's awesome to hear. It's great that we became partners without meeting. It means my team is doing a good job. And so is your team. So really good stuff. You're rocking and rolling. I love your channel. Business credit's so important. I started my business in 2007. It was out of my spare bedroom. And, I maxed out every single credit card I had at the time. I had great credit, so I leveraged that credit. And I think I racked up like over 100,000 in credit card debt to get the company started, plus every dollar I had. And, without that credit, I couldn't get the business started. But what was more important, as the business started to get rocking, you need to use forms of financing in order to just grow your business. There's really three ways to build a business. You use, your personal money, money from, friends and family or private equity, or you borrow money and take out loans. Really without that, you need money to make money and to grow. So it's super important.
Okay, good to know. So the thing about it is, and we're going to go be very transparent. So you shared a story that I feel like I had too, where I started my business before I even knew about business credit, before I knew it existed. I only knew about personal credit. And so when I was going to do some ads with Facebook, of course, you have to put a credit card in there. So I started putting my own credit cards in there, and my credit score tanked. After I had worked so hard to get my credit score into the 700s, it went back under 600. And I was devastated. So how does one avoid doing that altogether? Like not trashing your personal credit and just getting business credit, getting started with that.
Yeah, no, so it's important. I mean, you just need good personal credit in general to start off with, right? So you want to focus on that right out of the gate. Some people say, you can take out business credit cards and just use that to build your business. But it's a combination of using everything. And you might have to use all in the beginning, like personal credit, business credit cards. What's important is once the business starts getting going, or even very beginning, like if you've got good credit, you can immediately, once you open up your corporation or LLC, you can immediately go and get a business credit card. And a lot of those business credit cards, when you're, putting the credit card down for Google ads and all that stuff, it doesn't show up on your personal credit. Like my business Amex is all of my business. You don't see that on my personal credit. The other thing, as you start generating income, there's all these different ways that you can leverage that income to go get money. And there's a lot of money out there right now. Even after COVID and all this craziness that's happening, lenders are back to pre-COVID levels and actually
really? Okay, so let's
beyond.
Talk about that, Joe, because this is stuff people don't know. And that's why people love my channel, because I just share. And I feel like that's what we're here to do. There's nothing to sell, whether they get business credit with you or not. We want them to get business credit. So talk about the money that's actually available, because people don't think that there's money available for their business, and you and I know differently. So talk about that.
There's a number of different ways. It's when you're not generating revenue, it's very difficult to get financing. So if you're generating, in the very minimum, 5 to 10 grand a month in sales, just gross sales, not profit, there's options just really start to open up. So you might have to use some of the, personal credit cards, business credit cards to get going. But once those sales are going, then you want to immediately leverage that. And you want to leverage your sales when things are growing and times are good. You don't want to wait till you have like a month that drops off and then go, oh my God, I need money. You want to establish and get business credit immediately. And, when I got started, it was in 2007. A lot of lenders and private lenders that are non-bank lenders, these lenders are on our platform, they didn't even have a website. But now you fast forward to today, and business lending, now it's become fintech, alternative lending. These words weren't around when I got started.
That's right.
There's been a boom in lending.
Yeah.
But what's great about that is there is a lot of options. What's challenging, if you go search small business loan or business line of credit in Google, a million things come up. It's like, which lender do I apply with? And some lenders love these type of businesses. Some lenders, you have to have excellent credit. Some will help you if you have bad credit. They just focus on sales. Some love restaurants. Some hate restaurants. There's just so many different options. It's extremely confusing. So
I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it, Joe. You're saying some amazing things here. And so one of the things, again, in my, entrepreneurial journey that I had to learn was that I do have to go through these processes. And sometimes, though, it's confusing. I know my audience and what they're thinking is, this is confusing. And you guys are making it sound a little bit easier than it is. So talk about, though, how it's less confusing than it used to be, I guess, or how you can make it less confusing.
Well, it's definitely more confusing than it used to be, but we've made it less confusing. And that's how we designed our platform. It was to get rid of the confusion, the guessing games, the frustration, the challenge of shopping from lender to lender, or just trying to figure it out online. It's endless. So, when you apply with us, it's a digital app. You apply in one place. Okay. And then literally you'll speak with someone on my team. And I was mentioning, you'll speak to an actual human. And
that's awesome.
It's like, wow, it's like such a big deal. And today, you actually get to speak to somebody, and whoever you speak to will know what they're talking about. We put a lot of training into our folks, and a lot of people have worked here for years. So you'll speak to a business financing advisor, and they will just ask you a few simple questions, understand what you're looking to accomplish, and then we'll very simply our technology along with that conversation will help us match you to the right one or two or three lenders. And then what we'll do is we'll bring those offers right back to you. We'll explain them. We'll answer any questions, and then we'll help get everything wrapped up and funded. And all that really happens that can happen in under 24 hours. So
wow,
it's a very fast process. That's the part that I don't
think people realize nowadays. And again, this isn't, Joe's money or Noel's money. We're telling you that these lenders want to lend to businesses. So why do lenders want to lend to businesses versus, student loans, for example? Why is there seeming to be more funding for businesses than maybe some other things?
Well, I think the reality is the world's growing, and the economies are growing and businesses are growing. If you look at, this is a really wild fact, in 1950, there was 2 billion people in the whole world. It was the largest amount of people at that time. Right now, there's, I think, 8 billion people in the world. So as people grow, businesses are growing, there's more businesses. And even after the recession, after COVID, now that we're seeing a boom of businesses starting, and people need money to grow. And, a lot of people don't understand. They think when business is good and they're growing that they're not going to need money. But actually, most companies that come to us are growing, and they're growing so fast that they can't keep up with the demand. So you need an infusion of cash to go after more business. And sometimes in some businesses, you sell a product, you don't get paid for 30 days later if you're in B2B. So if you're selling a bunch of stuff, you're laying out all this money, you're doing all the work, you're not getting paid till 30 or 60 days out. You need money to bridge those gaps. So businesses are back to growing.
They are.
COVID stopped everything, and now companies are back to growing, and they need money. So like I mentioned, there's 3 ways to get money. It's your personal money, friends and family, private equity, or business loans. So, business loans are cheaper than usually equity. And if you know your business and you've got, and you understand your profit margins, then you can utilize financing as a tool to really grow your business without giving up equity.
Here's the question, because I have a ton of people in my audience, and this is their big question for me. And I'm going to pose that question to you and let you answer it in your words. as most of them are, a lot of them are startups. So let's go with a company, you're a brand new entrepreneur, you need money for your business. You've already set it up, but you don't have a lot of profit. And so you're afraid to borrow money because you're not really making so much money. What do you have to say for those people?
If you're going to borrow money, you need to be utilizing it for things that are going to help you bring in more money, right?
Yeah.
More sales,
Yeah.
And listen, there's just times where, maybe you're just getting started and you're like going through into a slow season. You're like, I need some money to get past December. And then I'm good. It opens back up. So if you've got to do that in the beginning, you just have to do what you've got to do. And it's hard to put a blanket answer on that because every business is so different. But if you're just borrowing money to borrow money, or you're borrowing money without a plan, or you're borrowing money and throwing, money after bad money, that doesn't make a lot of sense. So, and you'll ask these questions to people, and if they don't really know your business, it's very hard for someone to answer that question.
That's true.
But if you're using money to go after sales and more business, which drives more sales, which hopefully drives more profit, then that's why you should be borrowing money.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
I get it. It does. It makes perfect sense. Okay, Joe, you have said some amazing information. I really appreciate you sharing and being so candid, and open, sharing all of that information and some of the secrets behind business credit. So how can people reach you?
My pleasure. So if you want, you could follow me at Grow by Joe. And I'm always putting out helpful content and things like that to help. But if you'd like to speak with one of my team, if you think it's time to apply for financing and you want to understand what your options are, just check out the link below in the comments. There's a link right there where you can click on and get connected with my team at National Business Capital. And we're simply just here to help. Even if you're not ready now, we can have a simple, quick conversation, and hopefully we can get you that financing that you need in order to grow your business and bring it to the next level.
I love it. I love it. I told you, business credit changed my life. It changed my business. I appreciate everything that you do. This has been an amazing chance talking to you. You have a wonderful day.
Wow, that was an amazing episode. I really hope you learned a lot. I have created a special training that I'm going to give to you absolutely free. Do you want to learn real estate and how to start from real estate from scratch with almost no money using the formula that I did? Well, go to noellsfreetraining.com and check out that full training. Again, noellsfreetraining.com. That's Noelle, Noelle with an S, noellsfreetraining.com, and take this hour-long course where I will teach you in depth, in detail, how to invest in real estate, starting with almost no money and no connections. I just want to make sure that you have all of the resources, all of the tools, and all of the knowledge that you need to be successful. This is Noelle. To your success.